Heyo, Ashley Monet here, coming at you guys with a video I've been on pins and needles anxiously waiting to show you. Creepifying my subscribers' art. The start of what I hope will be an ongoing series on this channel where you send me your art on Instagram and I then redraw it with my own creepy spin. I'm super excited for this, so let's jump right in and see what I can creepify. First off, let me just say how excited I was at all of the awesome submissions I got for this video. There were definitely too many to conquer in just one video, so like I said, I'll continue these with a series, making a new video each time the channel reaches a milestone. I do want to feature some of the ones I didn't get to because I love all of these so much and appreciate you guys for sending them like you have no idea. But let me say there were lots of great ones uploaded to Instagram with the tag DrawMeMonet, which I am following. There were also a ton sent directly to me through DM at Ashley Monet XO. That's the route to go if you have a private profile. Feel free to keep tagging and sending me your art for the next time I do this. We'll keep this going. Also, there were a handful of you that submitted art that has a creepy style already to it. While these may have been some of my favorites because I love creepy, it's also kind of hard to creepify the creepy stuff. But let's get to the ones I did get done. The first submission I chose was this Snowflake Queen created by Chantal Arts. I'm subscribed to her channel and saw her video where she created this character, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do something like that when winter comes back around. But then she submitted it to this, and I physically could not pass up the opportunity to do it right now. I did notice something about myself in this video. It seems like I really gravitate to the type of art that allowed me to draw pretty women. They're like my favorite thing to draw. So for my version of this Snowflake Queen, I definitely wanted to give her more of an ancient woodsy look. I was channeling a little Daenerys from Game of Thrones, a little Akasha from Queen of the Damned. One thing I wanted to do was give her a lot more jewelry. She's a queen after all. She should be draped in jewels. I do think she would have ice powers too. Very Elsa from Frozen, but of course she only uses her powers for evil. I love the idea of this icy queen out in the wilderness, so she'd need a nice heavy cape clad in fur to survive the frigid temperatures. That piece is the showstopper. Her dress was going to be a little less ostentatious, but still has some ice crystal detailing on the waist. Now I'm really trying to bring the foresty wilderness into her. I gave her a crown of winter flowers adorned with some more ice crystals. And I thought it would be fun to give her some antlers too. Not like they're growing out of her head, but like a decorative headpiece. A little braided accent for her hair and fine lining. Lots of those little tiny details. Up until now, I was undecided about her eyes, but once she was drawn out, I decided she needed to have just glowing white eyes with no life to them. Now came the time to color. I made her skin nice and pale, as a snow queen would be, but also blushied her nose and cheeks because she's out in the cold. Chantal's Snow Queen had this beautiful teal hair, but I am of the opinion that every ice queen needs stark white hair. So that's where I took her. Also did some light gray shading on the fur of her cape and her dress, as these will be white as well. I wanted to go dark and dramatic with her makeup. Love that look for her. Adding some light blue tones to the crown of flowers, which will pair nicely with her cape. That's where I'm bringing in that gorgeous teal. I colored a nice gradient from dark teal to a lighter, brighter version, and added those teal tones to all of her ice crystal jewels. Just a few more little shadows here and there, and adding some sparkle highlights to the cape, maybe like little snowflakes twinkling all over. And I'm so bummed the camera didn't capture this better. It looks like I'm just using white, but I went in with silver gel pen and enhanced all of those little jewels with some shimmer. And with that, I think I'm done with her. Okay, the next one is this girl in a blue beret submitted by The Art of Madeline Claire. Also, sorry in advance if I butcher the pronunciation of anyone's names. Madeline. Anyways. Something about this one pulled me in. She just looks so innocent with those wide eyes and pouty lips. With that in mind, this one did end up being less on the creepy side, but hey, I did my best. I made sure my version of this girl still had kind of a messy mop of hair, the extremely large wide eyes, and those full pouty lips, and of course, a beret. But when it comes to giving her a little Ashley Monet edge, I gave her a few piercings, made that mop of hair into a fun little mullet, and gave her this kind of dark, mysterious pose. And every dark and mysterious French girl must have a cigarette in her hands, oui. A few little fine line details, and it is on to the color. I loved the big brown eyes of the picture, so I kept those as they are. She has a healthy, blushy glow, so I tried to copy that, but for some reason, my markers did not blend as smooth this time around, so that blush is pretty bold. I love the dark lip color of my Snow Queen, so I just carried that over to her too. Really trying to blend those cheeks. I also loved her little freckles, so I made sure to include them. And I do add more later too. A few little shadows, and then it's time to add the black. At this point, putting her all in black was all I could do to take her in a darker direction. One thing I loved about this girl was the rainbow toned eye makeup that she's got. To channel that vibe into my version, but make it a little edgier, she's got rainbow hair. Punching up the colors with some colored pencils, add a few juicy highlights, and with that, I feel like she's pretty much done. This next piece is a lady in purple holding a skull, submitted by Call Me Gloria. This one already has a creepy undertone, but I wanted to take it a little further. I felt like there was a whole story there. It evoked sadness from me, like a woman in mourning, having lost the love of her life and can't let go. I drew her cradling the skull a bit more closely. It's kind of Bates Motel vibes, like what has she done with the rest of the body? I also really wanted to hone in on the emotional side of it and give her a very pained expression. Time to start in with the colors. The blush blended way better this time, so we'll call that one a fluke. Added a couple of shadows and went in heavy on those eyes for that "my mascara's running from all the tears" look. So tragic. Now to give her little skullmate some color, and then onto the hair. Now this stumped me because the source material definitely has purple hair, but I'm like, is her hair black and it's just purple being cast off her dress because she's in front of a window? Or is it truly purple? Since I couldn't decide, I just gave her a bit of both. Black to purple ombre hair. Also added purple to her lips and eyes. Honestly, I regret that move. It is a bit much with the purple makeup. No going back now. But then I moved on to her dress with this kind of geometric pattern, and of course, made it purple. A couple of juicy highlights, and that was all she needed. Done. Our next subject was submitted by Jay of All Trades. She was kind enough to give me the entire backstory on this character, Saraba, who is an anti-Cupid. So basically, Cupid makes poor matches, she breaks them up, and then matches them to their actual soulmates. In this storyline, she's the hero, but see, in my storyline, it's the opposite. She takes great pleasure in deviously destroying the soul matches that Cupid makes. I started by giving her some very harsh and pointed features. She ended up looking kind of like Olivia Wilde. Not my intention, happy accident there. But in the image I'm working off of, she has this lovely heart necklace that I wanted to emphasize. It's like a red heart of the ocean piece that she'll be clutching. Perhaps it's the source of her evil powers. This character just so happens to have a little sidekick, Fluffy, who is described as a puff of fur with a cat face and wings. You already know I was going to add him in. Going in with the fine line details, now she's looking a little less friendly and a little more fierce. A main color theme for this character is the red, so I went ham with it. I made her eyes red as well as her necklace and those little glovelets she has on. Fluffy's eyes are going to be red too. She also does have red in her hair, but I'll come back to that. Right now, just adding her skin tones. I wanted her skin to be a little more tan. She's a Lolita. Also, the original drawing has a scarf around her shoulders. It's a dark navy and kind of blends with her tank top. I originally thought it was all one top, and honestly, I kind of prefer that look. So I'm just going to give her this off-the-shoulder ruffled blouse. Gave her some bright red lips and started in with the hair, and that's when it hit me. She needed red in her hair. So I went ahead and did that. You all know I'm a fan of the two-toned look. Adding some shadows and coloring her top black. And Fluffy's gonna stay white, so just a few shadows for him. Again, this just looks white, but I used silver gel pen to give her some fun hoop earrings and add some razzle-dazzle to that necklace. Couple of juicy highlights, and that is it for this fun little duo. Next is this lovely Queen of Hearts, submitted by Chelsea Kirk. I kind of wanted to blend her version with the Helena Bonham Carter Queen of Hearts in the creepiest way I could. So I gave my queen a very pointed chin, but then very poofy hair, so it's like her whole head is one big heart. Took a few things directly from Chelsea's drawing. I loved these heart-shaped space buns with the gems in them. Made me think of Sailor Moon's hair. My queen also has a crown, just an itty-bitty one. I love the hair cascading down. I just added a little more curl to mine. And those blood-dripping roses were ta-da! So I decided that to include them, I would make them like the puffy sleeves of her dress. And the heart, it's either floating or like the center brooch to her dress in this drawing. But for my version, the queen is going to have it in her clutches, almost as if she's just ripped it from the chest of her latest victim. Now off with his head. Time for the fine line details. And then we can start with the color. I wanted her to be good and pale, but very blushy cheeked. I guess I was excited to color that heart. Got some pinks and reds and blues going in there. Then I moved on to the reds, which meant her rose sleeves, those lips, which I did that little heart-shaped lipstick, you know, love that. Now to add those drips to the roses. Oh, yeah, that is doing it for me. More red for the gems in her hair and on the crown. And in the drawing, her hair is red as well. It's a very monochromatic drawing. I wanted to add a little variation, so I made her hair more of a coppery red. Added a few shadows, then I also wanted to make her eyes those lifeless, white, glowing eyes. And for her hands, which appear to be more like claws, I thought it would be fun to have her skin darken into black for her hands. Thought that would look good and creepy. And since I haven't done it yet, juicy highlight time. And that's a wrap on my Queen of Hearts. It was at this point I realized I had only done pretty girls and decided to try something else. Aaron Yeager sent me this awesome drawing of a little horsey. I loved the vibe. It was kind of cutesy and pretty, but could be a little creepy too. Like this would be the horse that belongs to the princess, but in a grim fairy tale. My horse is going to be the one that belongs to the villain of that same dark fairy tale. Made sure to draw him very creepy skinny with a stringy, scraggly mane and tail. Really tried to emphasize the horse's skinny form with my fine line details. We're seeing some rib, we're seeing some muscle, and then on to color, or lack thereof, because this horse is just going to be a few shades of gray. And he'll also have those glowing white, lifeless eyes. Just a few little highlights, a couple of last-minute shadows, and yeah, that was pretty much it for this one. Okay, this is the last one, a cute little alien dude submitted by Lemony. I figured I could knock this one out in no time. I started with the silhouette of the traditional idea of an alien, but to creepify it, I made him really tall, extra skinny, with long, spindly, claw-like fingers. Hey, this is given the same vibe as the monster I drew in my last Create This Book prompt. Ugh.
So unoriginal.
I added a dark gray sky behind and included the little pine trees from Lemony's drawing. Look at us, making a whole setting and everything. Then I colored the alien silhouette, even adding the little UFO in the background. And as has been a theme with these redraws, gave him the glowing white eyes. Also adding the beams from the UFO and some night sky stars with my paint pen. Easy peasy, done. Okay, now let's look back at all of these. We've got my icy Snowflake Queen. I'm obsessed with how she turned out. And my edgy, mysterious French girl in the beret. Less creepy, more cute, but I just love her. Then my tragic widow in the purple dress, mourning a love lost too soon. And our lovely yet devious anti-Cupid with her floofy sidekick. Oh, I love them. Then it's the Queen of Hearts, clutching a fresh one in her bloody, creepy claws. No lies, she just might be my favorite of them all. Don't forget about this dark and creepy little horse. Who would ride this beast? The Headless Horseman, perhaps? I don't know, but that just leaves our spooky little alien friend creeping through the woods with his UFO far off in the distance. I had so much fun with all of these and already can't wait to do it all again. Thank you for your amazing art that you submitted. I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you as my subscribers, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye!